2025 meeting of the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners. Stand with us, please. Commissioner Romel McMurray will lead us in our prayer and our pledge. Romel.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we stand before you on this Maundy Thursday, known to many as Holy Thursday. For we know that this was the day that the Lord's Last Supper. We thank you for this holy week leading up to Resurrection Sunday, known as Easter, Lord. It's the week that Jesus kisses Judas and washed his feet. So let us think about that if we struggle to forgive others. For we know that Jesus knew the struggle and betrayal was coming. He knew that the pain would be deep, yet he chose love. He chose humility. He chose forgiveness, and he chose to die on the cross for you and I. As leaders in this county, let us remember that true greatness is found in serving others. Lord, I ask that you comfort anyone who's going through bereavement during this season, especially for the family of the late Georgiana Ann Lynch, former county clerk, and we also pray for one of our own who lost in the passing of his grandfather, Jonathan Beverly. Let them know that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I ask that you heal those that need to be healed right now, Lord, mentally, physically, and emotionally. We thank you, God, for your Son. We know that you're a way maker, you're a miracle worker, you're a promise keeper, and that is who you are. I ask that you continue to heal our land, all the way from the local to the federal levels. And I also ask that you be with our students and staff as they wrap up the school year and begin testing. Give them the strength and knowledge to press on and to succeed. We love you, Lord. We honor you and we worship you. What can wash away our sins? What can make us whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 3 white stars on the field of blue, God keep you strong and ever true. It is with pride and love as we salute the flag.
Thank you. You may be seated. If I could, I want to make one really quick announcement. Rick Spence has announced his retirement, which is a really good thing. I think he'll be working through the summer, maybe August to August. And I'll introduce Jack Patterson to you. Jack will be taking his place, so you'll see his face up here very often. So congratulations, Rick. This time I'll call on our Rutherford County Clerk, Lisa Crowell, to call the roll. Please, Lisa.
Commissioner Oliver.
Present.
Commissioner Piercy.
Here.
Commissioner Rather.
Here.
Commissioner P.
Here.
Commissioner Davison.
Here.
Commissioner Beverly.
Here.
Commissioner Cush.
Present.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner James.
Here.
Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Commissioner Anthony Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Boyd.
Here.
Commissioner Paul Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Irvin. Here. Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner Dodd.
Here.
Chairman Phillips.
Present.
Commissioner McAdoo. Here. Commissioner McMurray.
Here.
Commissioner Gooch.
Here.
Commissioner Serena.
Here.
We have a quorum, 21 present.
Thank you. This time I'll call on our Chairman Pro Tem Trey Gooch for the reading of our March 13th meeting minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The March minutes, both of the minutes for the 2 commission meetings are in order. I move that we dispense with the reading and approve them as presented.
We have a motion. Second, Chairman Commissioner Johnson. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you. Item E, resolution recognizing James Evans as Communicator of the Year, presented by Commissioner Phil Dodd.
Thank you, guys. I will say that, come up here, you face the crowd. And if you want a photograph from Hope, Oliver had to remind me last time and let people get away without photographs. So if you want a photograph, somebody out there can take one. So
let's get Jimmy up here. He looks like he's mobile.
I would like to begin by recognizing Dr. Sullivan is here. I won't discuss his condition, but he's in a neck brace. And so, and I won't embarrass you to have you come up, but thank you for coming. I do want to recognize that you took the effort to come here, and Vice Chair Wilson, thank you for contributing to making sure this happened tonight. So James Evans has received a recognition from the state of Tennessee and a committee, and we all know James as the call we're desperate to hear on the snow days. So thank you for that. Resolution of recognition for James Evans. Whereas the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners should recognize and celebrate those individuals who make a profound impact on the people and communities of Rutherford County. And whereas Rutherford County Schools Chief Communications Officer James Evans has been named Communicator of the Year by the Tennessee School Public Relations Association. And whereas Mr. Evans has served as Rutherford County Schools Chief Communications Officer for over 20 years with dedication and distinction. Whereas Mr. Evans has implemented various communication strategies, including a robust social media presence, interactive newsletters, and real-time updates during school closures or emergencies, setting a high benchmark for other districts across Tennessee. And whereas, under Evans's leadership, Rutherford County Schools launched a branding campaign at the start of 24-25 to showcase the district's ongoing commitment to collaboration, innovation, impact, and success. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners at its regular session on this 17th day of April 2025, does hereby extend sincere appreciation and recognize James Evans as the 2025 Communicator of the Year and for his dedicated service to the students and parents of Rutherford County. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution of recognition be forwarded to James Evans by the clerk of this legislative body. Mr. Chairman, I so move resolve this 17th day of April 2025.
Have a motion and a second. Take your pick. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, James. If you would introduce your family, please.
This is my youngest son, Sander. This is my middle son, Samuel, and my wife, Adrienne. Our oldest son has track practice tonight, so he couldn't be here. But they're all proud Rutherford County School students, and we are very grateful for the school system, and we're grateful for this body and for what you guys are considering tonight with the weapons detection system. It's going to make our schools much safer, so we appreciate you all considering that. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
One more. To the front.
Item F, public comments. We've had 4 individuals to sign up. As we get into our public comment period, let me remind everyone that there's a 3-minute time period, and you'll be on the clock. First is Gary Carter. His topic is the bus contract. Mr. Carter. Now we have 3. Second is Kim Earp. Her topic is bus contract.
Good evening. My name is Kim Earp.
Kim,
Oh,
speak up a little bit, Kim.
okay. Is this better? Okay. My name is Kim Earp, and I'm a member of the Rutherford County Bus Association. And I just wanted to give y'all some information that might help you understand why we need school buses, why this county in particular needs school buses. This is the 4th largest county in Tennessee. Y'all probably know this, but I'm just going to refresh your memory. We have the largest middle school in the state with 1,625 middle schoolers at Blackman. We have 52 schools with over 50,000 students, and over 30,000 of those students ride a school bus, or they're registered to ride a school bus. Parents in this county depend on us to get their kids to school. We have 332 routes. We have 175 contractors. These contractors own and maintain their own buses and provide the drivers. A lot of people don't know that. And if parents are listening at home, you know, contractors own these buses, and we have to take care of them. We have to fuel them. We do it all. Contractors get a 1099 from the county, and we pay our own taxes. We are 1 out of 5 school districts that have owner-operator contractors that provide transportation to their districts. We are in the middle of our contract that we negotiate every 4 years. It's every 4 years, so it's not a surprise to the commission or to the school board that this is going to happen. It happens every 4 years. It's not a surprise. So our bus contract should be secured before school starts. And we just want help from you guys to help the school board, to support us, to support what we've asked, our monies, our just everything to support us. That's all right. Our contractors and drivers are also taxpayers, and we want our money spent on our kids. So spend the money on the kids. We would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Earp. Next is Susan Allen. Her topic is a resolution that was passed, or a motion that was passed by Public Works. Ms. Allen. Susan, it's good to see you getting around so good.
Good evening. My name is Susan Allen. I live on Nelson Lane in Murfreesboro. I'm sure I speak for many members of the community when I say that we were pleased that at the last Public Works meeting, Commissioner Dodd moved, seconded by Commissioner Boyd, that, quote, the Public Works Committee requests no additional information from Republic Services and to cease further discussions with Republic Services regarding the expansion of the Middle Point landfill, end quote, and that the motion passed unanimously. We think it is a very wise decision to start concentrating on what the county has in place now to address the solid waste for when the landfill reaches capacity. We're looking forward to the May committee meeting and hearing about the current status of the transfer station from Solid Waste Director Bishop Wagner, and also a presentation by Waste Management on their partnership with the transfer station. We're encouraged by the plan to reinstate the SWAC, Solid Waste Advisory Committee, consisting of members of the community and government, for the purpose of establishing the best way to move forward on a solid waste solution that best serves the taxpayers of Rutherford County and one that will protect the environment and value of surrounding properties. This new direction will also allow the grant-funded pilot recycling program being organized by Donna Barrett to take shape. This pilot program could become a model for the entire state. And this is for citizens in districts where your commissioner has not held community meetings to keep you up to date on what the commission is doing for you. I encourage you to attend Commissioner Beverly's community meeting this coming Monday, April 21st. I'm sure he will be giving details at the end of this meeting. I wish you all peace and joy in the season of Easter and Passover. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Next is Laura Clark. Her topic is also Public Works Committee motion. Clark.
Thank you, Chairman Phillips, for this opportunity. Good evening. My comments tonight will echo the remarks made just a few minutes ago by Susan Allen. I want to give special thanks to the members of the Public Works and Planning Committee who voted last week in favor of the motion that said, Public Works Committee requests no additional information from Republic Services and to cease further discussions with Republic Services regarding the expansion of Middle Point Landfill. The committee voted to accept that motion. At this point, I look forward to looking at the options Rutherford County has already in the works to do other alternative methods of dealing with solid waste. And so this will give us an opportunity to move ahead without the Republic Services being in the picture. I look forward to that. But something else happened that I thought was important last week. During the discussion prior to the vote, some members of the committee described how they had received hundreds of emails or texts or phone calls from their constituents asking them to oppose the expansion. Those commissioners said it was clear that their constituents did not want to move ahead working with Republic to expand the landfill, and so they voted accordingly. Not only do I appreciate their vote to oppose the expansion, but it was so validating for me to know that our local county commission is listening to us and listening to constituents and is responsive to us and constituents. That's the essence of a strong democracy in local government, and I want to thank you for what you did in response to the request of our community. And in addition to that, last week we had 2 MTSU students in the audience listening and watching this. It was the first time they had attended a government session like this. They had never met government officials. They didn't know anything about it. They were a little nervous. But when they watched the discussions, the comments, the vote, and the vote that was responsive to constituents' request, they were pumped. And I talked with them afterwards and I said, y'all, this is how government works. And you hear things that government doesn't work. Well, it worked last week, and I know it will continue to work. So thank you for what you did, Public Works, last week. I look forward to exploring options in the future.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Those of you who didn't see that young lady that delivered my hearing aids that I went off and forgot, that was my wife, Kathy. Today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Kathy. Item G, elections and confirmations. We'll call on our steering vice chair, Commissioner Pettis Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're having elections and confirmations. Item 1 deals with elections of our notaries. There is two pages of listings of notaries may be found in your iPads, Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, I move to confirm the elections of these individuals as Rutherford County notaries.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioner Johnson. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to approve carries.
Item 2, steering would like to announce one Planning Commission vacancy to fill the term of a retiring member. The term will end August 2025. This is a mayor appointment. Item 3, we would like to also announce one PBA vacancy to fill a retiring member's term. The term ends January 2026. This is also a mayor's appointment. Item 4, steering wishes to confirm Melinda Black to fill the vacant position for farm woman on the Agriculture Advisory Board, which will be a 2-year term to end January 2027. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I have a motion and a second to approve Melinda Black. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 5, steering wishes to also confirm Robert Canterbury to fill the vacant position for the foreman on the Agricultural Advisory Board, which will also be a 2-year term to end January 2027. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve Robert Canterbury. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the business of elections and confirmations.
Thank you, Commissioner Reed. Commissioner Reed and I are kind of in the same boat. There's been a time or two when I've had to lend him one of my hearing aids because he went off and forgot his. Tonight was my night, Pettis. Item H, resolution to approve the consent agenda. Chairman Pro Tem Traguch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and colleagues, and may the minutes reflect that this is at least the second time that Kathy's had to come up here and bring the hearing aids that the chairman left at the house. So, also, I'm going to move the second item from the consent agenda to the budget report, the general purpose school budget amendment. All others are appropriate for the consent agenda. So H2 will move to K1F. So move, Mr. Chair.
Had a motion to approve our consent agenda minus item H2.
Who's the second?
Do we have a second? Commissioner P. For this will be on the board. If you would, Commissioners, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Motion passes. Item I, no unfinished business. J, we'll get into our public hearings. Call on our Planning Director, Doug DeMasi. We're about 5 minutes early. So what?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, Commission members. We just have one public hearing for your consideration tonight. This is by Mr. Brian Sullivan. This is property located at both 8912 and 8954 Las Casas Pike. The existing zoning is residential low density. Proposed zoning is agricultural residential, or AR. Size of the site is about 14 acres broken up into 2 different parcels, and I will brief you on that in just a moment. As I stated, the applicant would like to rezone the entirety of 8912 Las Casas Pike and a portion of 8954 combining it with 8912, where the applicant's house is located, to AR to establish a dog obedience and training and boarding business. The applicant has included an exhibit that shows the extent of the zoning change as well as the location of the proposed buildings for the business. This is not a planned development, so the concept plan is not binding, but it'll give you an idea of the direction that he's looking to go with this. The business he's wanting to provide is defined as a kennel, which is classified as animal care and veterinarian services in our zoning ordinance. This use is not allowed in the residential low-density zone, nor is it allowed as a home-based business. However, it is allowed under the AR zone by special exception. So he understands that this application is approved, that he would have to apply to the Board of Zoning Appeals for that special exception before operating the business. And as a matter of fact, he has made the application in the event to the BZA, but in the event it was not passed tonight, we would just take it off the docket. So I just want to make it clear that the rezoning of the property does not actually approve the business. That's what the BZA is for. This property does have frontage along Las Casas Pike. This is a state road, so any new or improved access points would have to have TDOT approval. The BZA can require additional parking for a dog obedience and boarding business if they deem it necessary. The same goes with the landscaping and performance standards. Since this is a residential zone, there's not really any required screening or anything like that, but the BZA can place reasonable conditions upon any approvals for a special exception. The Planning Commission did have some questions if whether or not the existing house at 8954 would be used for rental purposes. The applicant indicated that it would. We also discussed our notification protocols. There were some questions about business parking. Staff did answer that since this business, again, is on residentially zoned property, that it would not have to be paved, but again, the BZA could require additional parking as they saw fit. The applicant did come forward to answer some questions. He said the proposed parking would be for accommodations of about 10 vehicles. That could provide more if the BZA required. He also said the business would be primarily obedience training. There would be no events or anything like that on the property. Nobody spoke during the public hearing, and following the public hearing, the Planning Commission did recommend approval by a unanimous vote. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. DeMasi? Thank you, Doug. This time I'll declare the public hearing open for item REZ 25-004, rezoning request for Brian Sullivan. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this rezoning request, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Commissioner Piercy.
Yes, sir. There's only 2 other homes relatively close to this request. I've spoke with both of them. Neither one had any resistance to it. I would move for its approval with staff comments.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve rezoning request REZ 25-004. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just a quick announcement. I just want to say that we will be having at the Planning Commission another work session for Plan Rutherford after our April 28th meeting. The meeting starts at 9 o'clock, the regular meeting. It'll be following that.
Thank you, Mr. DeMasi. Item K, reports of our standing committees. K1, Budget, Finance, and Investment Committee, Chairman Robert P.
Good evening.
Evening.
Budget item A. Be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the general fund be amended as follows: for the county clerk, a decrease in unassigned fund balance of $26,000 with a increased expenditure for motor vehicles of $26,000. This is for a vehicle that's needed, and they're trading some in to help with that cost. Next is the Office of Information Technology, a decrease from unassigned fund balance of $500,000 and a increased expenditures in data processing equipment. Now, this is for security systems at the Judicial Building and also for the audio services where we're updating the speakers here in this room that we're using tonight. I've got the breakdown on those costs if anybody wants that. Next is the general sessions, a decrease in unassigned fund balance of $21,000 and an increase expenditures, contracts with private services for $21,000. And what this is the indigent monitoring devices that we're required by state law to issue to indigent persons. And we're required, like I said, this is an unfunded mandate. Be it resolved, the 17th day of April, 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Have a motion and a second to approve item K1A. Questions? Commissioners, for this will be on the board. Please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Motion passes.
Budget item B, resolution. Be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the Drug Control Fund be amended as follows: for drug enforcement at a decrease in restricted fund balance of $10,000 and increase expenditures of M&R vehicles of $10,000. Resolved this 17th day of April 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Second. Motion and a second. Who did the second? Murray. Okay. Any questions? Please cast your vote.
I do have a question. I apologize. I didn't get to my mic in time.
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
What does M&R stand for?
I'm not sure.
Maintenance and repair. They're moving money for maintenance and repair of vehicles for their drug fund.
Thank you.
Other questions? Once again, Commissioners, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Motion passes.
Budget item C, be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the Highway Fund be amended as follows: a decrease in assigned fund balance of $975,000 and increased expenditures for bridge construction of $975,000. This is for a bridge on Swamp Road, North Lane. Resolved this 17th day of April 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Motion and a second. Questions? None. Please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Motion passes.
Budget item D, be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the Educational Capital Projects Fund be amended according to the schedule attached hereto as Exhibit 1 and incorporated herein by reference as if set forth herein at length verbatim. Resolved the 17th day of April 2025. And before I make that motion, this is actually, if you look on your iPad, you should have this, be for $1,635,468. And what this is coming out of Fund 177 for Smyrna Elementary School to complete LED light projects and also for the HVAC system. Resolved this 17th day of April, 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Motion and second. Questions? Commissioners, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Motion passes. Commissioner P.
Budget item E. Therefore, whereas there is a need to plan, design, construct, and furnish Poplar Hill Middle School project due to the growth in the area, and whereas the Rutherford County Board of Education has anticipated the future needs of the school system, and whereas the Rutherford County Board of Education desires to proceed with the funding of the project at the estimated cost. Construction, $59,197,000. Construction-related contracts, $2 million. FFE, $4,500,000. Designed fund, the design that was funded in October of 2024, which was $3,700,000. And site construction, $1,500,000, for a total of $70,897,000. Whereas the funds in the amount of $3,700,000 were approved and funded in October 2024 for the design of the project, and funds in the amount of $67,197,000 will be funded from a future bond issue or remaining funds of previous bond issues for construction-related contracts, site contracts, and furniture, fixtures, equipment for the project. Therefore, be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the funding for the construction-related contracts, site contracts, and furniture, fixtures, and equipment for the project in amount of $67,197,000 be authorized from a future bond issue or remaining funds of the previous bond issued. Resolved this 17th day of April 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move. Mr. Chairman, I also want to have
Motion and a
Michael.
second. Comments.
I'm sorry. You did get your second. I'd like for Michael to address the $3,700,000 that was previously funded, and when we go to bond market, what actually is going to happen then. I don't want anybody caught by surprise. We explained this at the budget the other night, and basically it's got to do with shared pennies. Michael.
So a couple things to point out. When you see the bond resolution that'll either be next month or in June, that bond resolution is going to be for $70,695,629. That difference is going to be our share that we have to share with Murfreesboro City Schools. Murfreesboro City Schools is a K-6 district, and so this middle school will be a 6 through 8 school. So we will share a portion of a third of this middle school with Murfreesboro City Schools. So that would be $3,498,629 approximately that we will have to borrow and give to Murfreesboro City Schools. Also, as a reminder, we agreed to borrow for Laverne High School edition. That was several months ago. We have not went to the bond market for that. So when you see the bond resolution come, it will be the Laverne plus this $70 million, so approximately $110 million coming either next month in May or in June. We're still looking at the bond market. It has been kind of a roller coaster there. But I don't want anybody surprised when you see the bond resolution for those two amounts. The school system for this project would get the $67,197,000 to move forward with the construction of the middle school.
Other questions?
Question, please.
Mr. Oliver.
And I watched the budget the other night, but just for clarity, the initial, I guess, funds for the design fee, that was the 3.7, correct?
Yes, ma'am. That was funded out of...
That's been deducted, right? Because the school board did that portion. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, the school board did request that for clarity, the school board requested that be refunded to them. However, we have another issue at play here. When we borrow too much money, we have an arbitrage issue with the IRS that we're trying to avoid. That's one of the reasons we've put off the borrowing. The second is typically when we want to reimburse either like our county general fund or the school's general fund, we would take a reimbursement resolution. Now, in this cases, there are some hoops to jump through that we could refund that, but then we run into the IRS penalty issue. But yes, that was funded from their general fund in October of 2024.
I have no problem with not reimbursing them because that's my position. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yep.
Thank you.
And to also, just to be clear on that too, that money was, anytime we move money from 141, that money is already shared. And so we deduct that portion as well. If we'd have had to borrow for that, we would have had to share on top of that money. So we're always very cognizant of that as we're going to the bond market.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Commissioner Cush.
Chairman P. or perhaps Chairman Don, has there been a calendar date set for construction of Poplar Hills Middle School?
Not that I'm aware of.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Sullivan, you may correct me if I'm wrong, the target date is to open in the fall of 26.
Okay.
Yes, they would like it to be open for that fall of 20, for that school year is their plan.
And what about the expansion of Laverne High School?
You said of Riverdale?
What?
Laverne has already started.
Expansion's already.
It's already started. Y'all approved that. We just haven't bonded the money. You've already approved the funding for that. We never went to the bond market for that yet. We're going to tack that on to this bond issue so that we didn't have two separate issues.
Thank you.
Other questions? Once again, we have a motion and a second to approve the funding for Poplar Hill Middle School and the expansion of Laverne. Commissioners, which you would, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, our last resolution here is from our consent agenda, item 2, which is now item F. Be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the General Purpose School Fund be amended according to the schedule attached hereto as Exhibit 1 and incorporated herein by reference as if set forth herein at length verbatim, resolved the 17th day of April 2025. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Yes, sir. You have the floor.
Just to maybe forestall some of the questions, and y'all should have this on your iPads there. This budget amendment is to reflect the receipt of additional state revenue not included in the original budget. It includes moving innovative schools model grant funding around to appropriate accounts, and funding for weapons detection system, funding for an additional day added to the calendar for 12-month classified hourly employees, and adding funds to the maintenance contract service accounts for multiple projects that have increased expenditures. This amendment has a net increase of both current year revenue and expenditures of $4 million with no use of fund balance. There are not any reoccurring costs included in this amendment, excuse me.
Thank you. Questions? Comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Irvin.
So there's been a motion and a second, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It is safe to say, in the context that Chairman P. just outlined, that everyone here wants to protect students and the school personnel. That's a given. The problem is we don't know if this is the best way to protect them. We want to protect them. We don't know if this is the best way. We do know we're going to spend about $2.6 million. That's what we know. For those of you who had a chance to watch budget, I asked a lot of questions. For whatever it's worth, I didn't get a single answer from the schools. Not a single one. Since then, I've heard from a lot of constituents. I've heard from your constituents, people across the county, public safety experts and others. And candidly, a bunch more questions have risen. Okay? For example, we still don't know if this approach would have prevented the tragedies cited by the school staff at budget meeting. We don't know what this prevents, and we don't know what it solves. Okay? We still don't know if the schools have done any studies showing this solves the problem once we figure out exactly what the problem is. We still don't know if this solves the problem. It would be fair to say if you had a study, you could look at the pros and the cons. I'd be interested in seeing a study that looked at metal detectors and things along those lines and looked at it from a positive and a negative perspective. Haven't seen a single study like that. That's what I'd like to see. I don't know, we don't know yet if a risk assessment's been done. I ask, how often does this happen? We don't know, apparently, or at least it wasn't shared. Okay. We heard there's going to be some checkpoints that'll be manned by teachers and admins. Okay. What I want to know is what the sheriff's role is going to be. Before, during when this is going through the process, and otherwise. Okay. Had a couple of conversations with the sheriff. They were very kind, but I still don't know the answer to that question. What's the sheriff's role before, and what if, God forbid, there were an incident? We don't know what the sheriff's role is. I've heard the resources are a bit tight, but so that might be tough. Is the SRO going to be at the checkpoint? I've heard no. I've heard they have other responsibilities. So you're going to have a teacher and an admin standing at a checkpoint. A gun is found, a knife is found. What happens then? Is there going to be kind of private armed security? I don't know the answer to that question either. Okay? We don't know what the liability is for the schools or the county under this scenario. We don't know. We don't know if risk management or the school's attorney or the county attorney has advised, provided any guidance on liability or other issues. We don't know the answer to those questions. So there's candidly a lot we don't know, and I could go on, but I'll cut it off there. There's a lot we don't know. I do know that in the private sector and every other situation I've ever been in where people set up a situation or implementing a security plan that could involve the use of firearms, every other situation I'm aware of, these questions would have been answered before we take the next step. In my view, I think our students and their parents and the school folks, they all need to be protected. I get that, and I agree with it. Okay? But rather than rush into it, as this seems to be doing, okay, I think we should answer a few basic questions. I think we're entitled to it, and the citizens of Rutherford County are entitled to it. At least the questions I've outlined. That'd be a good start. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to move to refer this back to Health and Ed, Public Safety, and Budget for further consideration.
We have a proper motion.
Second.
It's a proper motion to amend, to send back. And we had a second, Commissioner James. Discussion on the amendment to the original motion.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Johnson.
Hung up in my chair. There's a lot of things that I don't know concerning the school board, how they do their business, as far as security. And there's a reason for that. You don't need to know, and I don't need to know everything that goes on as far as security, because that weakens your security. People find a way to get around things. If they don't know it's there, they don't find a way to get around it, and hopefully they get caught. That's what I do know about the things I don't know. So many times we hear on the news, well, why didn't we know this? Well, you didn't need to know it. And that's the bottom line. With security in the schools, and for one thing, the school board has that obligation to look into all of the security. Not us, not with the schools. We have the other county business buildings that we have to control security, but not the schools. That's the school board's job. And I trust them to do the right thing. And I think that's what they're doing by not telling us everything. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Irvin.
I think it's important to realize Commissioner Johnson, or Chairman Johnson, with respect to him, did not answer a single question that I asked. He did not answer a single question I asked, and he did not address the liability issue that the county would have. With respect to if we move forward and approve along these lines. Or at least, we don't know, I guess, if the county would go forward, would have that liability, I guess. But candidly, I think the county probably would, just this humble commissioner's opinion. I'm not sure how much extra cash they have on hand. I don't know if their liability insurance, I don't know if our liability insurance would cover it. Wouldn't it make sense to at least ask a few questions? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'll entertain a motion to have Dr. Sullivan come up, if you guys would, answer a few questions. I'll entertain that motion. We have a motion by Mr. Johnson.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You want to ask before? I'm sorry, Commissioner Dodd.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I think that I will speak. This motion passed through Health and Ed unanimously with similar questions. This motion had dialogue between Dr. Sullivan and members of Health and Ed. I confirmed that Dr. Sullivan spoke to the Sheriff's Department. I confirmed that he consulted with experts, his own security experts. I confirmed that it was unanimous with his board. I confirmed it was unanimous with Health and Ed. I confirmed the sheriff was involved. I confirmed that they went out to the market to the best product at the best value. There are other products that are of greater value. I confirmed that the school board and this director have a plan in place, who mans the system, who has control of turning it on and turning it off. I confirmed through the Board of Education, through Dr. Sullivan, that there's a system in place where not anyone, that nobody can go up and change it. One person's in charge, that person has a backup, that person has a training program in place at every single school. There's not going to be somebody standing at the device all day, every day. Hence, there's a device instead of a person. The device gains another layer of safety through a bid process, through the best price available, with years of conversation that culminated in current conversations with the Sheriff's Department, so that this was not impulsive. The school board has been looking at metal detectors for years. A set of funds came in at a critical time when they could take their years of awareness, their years of process, their years of consultation with the sheriff's department, their years of consultation with their own security staff, came up with a solution quickly because they were prepared to have a solution. They also have vetted this through their attorney, their staff attorneys, and their Jeff Reed, who is their attorney on retainage. This commissioner voted for it at Health and Ed. This commissioner will vote no to this amendment. This commissioner will expect this original motion to move forward, and this commissioner will vote yes on that.
Thank you, Commissioner Dodd.
Yep.
Sullivan, do you have any comments?
No, thank you, Commissioner Dodd. I'll just echo that. So a lot of the things that Commissioner Johnson said is exactly true. We don't share a lot of our safety information. We have been in executive session multiple times to discuss safety. Safety is not something we arrive at one time. It's something that we work on day in and day out. We have had metal detectors in our schools rotating through for the last couple years as a pilot. This is a way for us to be able to move forward with an initiative in all of our schools. What we are talking about today, and I'm not going to get into specifics, so Commissioner Irvin, I will not answer your questions directly because it involves safety of our students, and I don't want other individuals out in the public to have some of that information. We have discussed it in executive session with our school board attorney, Mr. Reed, who is also represented by the county commission's attorney. He led the executive session with myself, our safety director, and our school board, who passed it unanimously. Coming out of a work session, and then with our school board coming into the next meeting. The other parts that I would address is that for funding, we did not ask for any local funds. This was strictly out of state funds that we received a $4 million grant for based on our performance from last year. And so we have a great working relationship with our county commission, which is evidenced by what we just had as a great show of unity for our middle school. And I think when we start questioning each other's roles, I think different things can go awry, and that worries me when we start questioning what is the school board's role in day-to-day operations. Ultimately, I'm charged with day-to-day operations, and the school board is elected duly to be able to set policy and charge me with setting direction of the school system, and this is their recommendation unanimously on how to spend money that was generated from the State Department. And when we fully get down to it, when it comes down to line item veto power, that's not something the county commission has. Thank you, Commissioner Dodd. I agree wholeheartedly with everything you said.
Commissioner Oliver.
Yes, thank you. In deference to my colleague, is it possible, because I know previously we've been in executive session and learned about the security things relative to the schools. Is it possible that that can take place so that some of his questions, valid questions might I say, be answered?
Well,
If this commission wants to do an executive session jointly with the school board attorney who's been more intimately involved in this, that's something that the commission could do. Now tonight, that school board attorney is not present here today. I'm happy to answer any questions to the extent that I can, but I don't have all the information to be able to maybe answer some of the questions you're wanting to ask.
Other questions?
I'll ask, does the county have liability?
Yeah, so if you'd like me to do an analysis of that, I'm happy to do that. I'm not prepared to opine on that as I sit here today. I would need to get some more facts on what exactly is going on. Pardon?
Do we have insurance coverage for
Well, how the county is set up through their risk management department is we do have a number of insurance coverages that likely would cover any sort of alleged negligent act or omission on behalf of a county employee or a school board employee. That insurance covers both county general and school board.
Okay, so, and without going into the operational details that Commissioner Dodd or Director Sullivan mentioned, I still haven't seen a single study on this, on what you're proposing. And that wouldn't be confidential, that'd be public knowledge. I mean, there might be some risk assessment that would be. I asked if there was one. I didn't hear anything. So, I mean, I respect the need for some things to be kept fairly quiet. I respect that. But at the same time, a study along these lines is not confidential. There would be one out there that said, hey, these things work. All you had to do is produce it. I got crickets. Let's see, what about the sheriff's role? No, you didn't have to address the sheriff. They support it. How are they going to support it? Are they going to have, or is it going to be more SROs? Is it going to be, every situation I've seen along these lines has an armed person right there behind the magnetometer or whatever. Okay? In the past, when the school did it, did they have them? You don't have to answer that question. There just seems to be a lot of liability here. This commissioner, very concerned, lack of information. You know, I respect Commissioner Dodd, I get it, but where's the information? Where's the data sharing? Why didn't they simply provide it? Very easy to do. Thank y'all.
Other questions or comments on the amendment to the original motion? We have a motion and a second to amend the original motion to send this back to budget for consideration for more input.
Let's go back to health and ed, public safety, and budget.
Thank you. Public safety and budget. Is that okay with you? Okay. Once again, we're voting on the amendment. We'll be on the board for this. If you would, commissioners, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
5 yes, 16 no.
Motion fails. We're back to the original motion. We had a motion and a second to approve item, which was item H2 and now is item K1D. Now questions and comments. Commissioners, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
18 yes, 2 no, 1 abstain.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes the budget's agenda for this evening. Our next scheduled meeting is May the 8th, Thursday, May the 8th at 5:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman P. Let me just say, as Chairman P is going back, that Budget Committee will be entering the busy session here beginning next month, and we'll put a lot of hours into preparing our budget for the coming year. Item K2, Public Safety Committee, Chairman Pettis-Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next meeting will be April the 28th at 5:30 here in this meeting for public safety. Would like to mention that we have an item to bring before public safety that we can't really do in that meeting, and there is going to be a call meeting on May 1st. The Rutherford County Corrections Partnership Group, and this has been a group that's been meeting for almost 2 years now, that deals with looking at the needs assessment of the Rutherford County Jail. In other words, where it's going as far as As the county continues to grow, the continued overcrowding that we have there, the jails construction, things of this type, and it's been asked by the CTASC to do a study on it. That study has come back, and rather than just a group doing this, it's going to public safety for them to see what it's all about and explain it. So they are coming here to present that to public safety. And we couldn't see where we could work it into the regular public safety meeting, so a call meeting is going to be on May 1st to present that, same time, 5:30 here at that time. And we'd like to remind this to bring it to the attention of all the commissioners. If they're interested in seeing what CTASC has said concerning our county jail, in other words, the condition, suggestions and things of that sort of thing, we invite them to be a part of that meeting too, to be here to see what's going on and what's being said. No decisions being made, nothing of that type. It's just a study of, hey, where are we, where we're going, and where do we need to go from here.
Thank you. You say you're going to roll the regular meeting into that one, or are you going to have your regular meeting as well?
There will be a role of that meeting, of the public safety that will be hearing this, because it's being presented to them to go from there. This is all being done through the law enforcement of the county, as well as other committees around here. Anybody deals with law enforcement that we've had that's been going for a good while, just to get some idea of where we are and what we've got.
So regular meeting is still April 28th. And then the special meeting will be May 1st. Thank you. Item K3, Health and Education Committee, Chairman Phil Dodd.
Thank you, Chairman. The Health and Ed Committee next scheduled meeting is in these chambers, April 29th, 5:30 p.m.
Thank you. K4, Property Management Committee, Chairman Alan McAdoo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our meeting schedule is April the 24th, 5:30 p.m. next Thursday. But we also are having a tour of the site where the Forensic Center and the EMS building is going at 3:30 p.m. And we will be meeting in front of the Rutherford County Clerk's building in Smyrna at 3:30. And we will have a detailed layout of the Forensic Center, EMS, showing the site of where they're going. And we thought it was a good idea that each commissioner know where these buildings are going, so if your constituents ask, that you will have the information to give them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item K5, Public Works and Planning Committee, Chairman Anthony Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have no report tonight. Our next meeting will be May the 6th at 5:30. Only thing I can say pertains to our committee. Personally, I'm sleeping better since Tuesday night. So,
let me compliment Chairman Johnson on working over the last few months with a lot of questions that people have asked and information that they've gathered, and it looks like all the information that they could possibly get, they've got. And that decision was a unanimous decision that's also been talked about a little bit earlier. Item K6, Steering Legislative and Governmental Committee, Chairman Craig Harris.
Mr. Chairman, we had no report, and our next meeting will be May 5th.
Thank you, sir. It brings us to the conclusion under other business. We've got a special presentation tonight, but let's get into shout outs or any other business before we get into that presentation.
Mr. Chair, I've got a shout out and also a commendation.
Commissioner Beverly.
This is National Telecommunicator Week. And for those of you who don't know who those folks are, they're the ones when you call 911 that answer on the first ring. They're the folks that are the first responders that are there for us 24/7. And for 40 hours a week at least, they're the folks that tell me what to do. So I want to commend them and thank them for their service. I also want to commend the state of Tennessee for officially recognizing them as first responders now. That is a huge monumental step as we move forward to get that recognized at the state level. So we're grateful for what the state of Tennessee has done. And I just want to give them a shout out on their week, and we appreciate everything they do. And also I'll be hosting a community forum on Monday the 21st at 6:30 at Family Pet Health's community room off Joe B. Jackson. Love to have you guys there. We're going to cover everything going on with the road board, with our road board member, the school board, and then also myself covering county commission topics. Thank you,
Commissioner Beverly. Commissioner Harris.
Commissioner Phillips, I wanted to give a shout out to State Senator Shane Reeves and our state rep, Charlie Baum. I have been trying for 7 years to get a mineral severance tax, and I've failed every time. And I am very proud to say that it has passed, and we will be getting additional revenues from that. And I could not have done that without Senator Reeves and Senator Baum and Mike A.G. with Rogers Group and the Corys and lobbyist group of the road board. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's good for Rutherford County, and I want to make sure that we get credit out to those who do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Others? Commissioner P.
Two announcements. Some of y'all know Suma Clark. She's, I think, secretary for Recycle Rutherford, but she sent an invitation to all the commissioners and to the public for a forum that they're holding Monday, April the 28th at 7 p.m. at the Heritage Center. And the topic of discussion would be
recycling,
future of it. Also, I've got a neighbor who's very interested in politics, Miss Jessie Vaughn, and she has also extended an invitation to all the commissioners and the public April the 22nd at 6:30, and it'll be 1630 South Church Street, Suite 119 for Rutherford County Conservatives, but all the public and commissioners are welcome.
Thank you. Others?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner McMurray.
Yes, I failed to mention last month, I wanted to give a shout out to my local business, Mr. Bruce, for taking care of us at our last county commission meeting. So I want to say thank you for them. Several businesses each month from time to time will donate meals and stuff for us. So I want to give them a shout out. And then also for tonight, I have different kettle corn or whatever for every commissioner and staff, even Trey. It's from another local business called Kettle Classic. They're located off of Highway 96 here in Murfreesboro. So we get a lot of stuff from District 19, different restaurants or whatever. But if y'all know someone in your districts that would like to donate meals or whatever, because sometimes we have long meetings, just reach out to me and I'll reach out to them. But a lot of them, they come to me because they love providing things for us and to also, just to support them and the community as well. So just a shout out to Mr. Brews and Kettle Classics.
Thank you. Commissioner James.
I wanted to point out that right now we have a lot of students in our schools right now, our ROTC programs. We have 8 programs and about 1,500 cadets, and they're going through their award ceremonies right now. We've had Blackman and we've had Smyrna. I think Laverne's having theirs tonight, and Stewart's Creek is coming up on the 30th. I just wanted to give them the credit where credit is due. These are some outstanding students with great parents who are fully supportive of these programs and great schools who are hosting these programs. So I want to make sure we gave a proper shout out to this entity.
Thank you. Commissioner Reed.
I have a shout out, but I guess it's sort of unusual. My shout out is to this commission right here. A month ago tonight, I was actually watching this group on television. The first time in many, many years I hadn't been sitting in this seat. And actually that evening, I was a pretty sick boy. But I refused to leave the house till I found out what in the world you were going to do with the forensic center. In fact, I had calls from friends from the ambulance service said, can we not come and take care of you? I said, not till I find out what this group's going to do up there with our forensic center. And after it passed, I got severely sick after that, and I said, send me one of those boxes out here with lights, without lights and sirens. And at the public safety meeting that next time, I told the group there, I said, you know, I took the most advanced ride-along of any commissioner around here. But thanks to that group that did carry me there and the prayers of this commission right here, it made a difference. Because due to the fact when I got there, I only have one kidney, and that kidney was spiking off the chart. And I'd had a small intestines that had also quit too, and some other things. But I want to say thank you to this bunch here. Their prayers that you gave, the concern you have for each other here is pretty important. Now I want to tell you, when you're sitting or you're laying there in a hospital bed and all of a sudden you're asleep and you wake up and this guy right here is standing there looking over you. I called him the commission's angel. All of a sudden had appeared before me. And it was quite interesting to see him there, as well as others of you that did show up and come by to see me. You're very brave to come see a man that's just trying to get over a norovirus. Now, you're something else, I want to tell you. But we do have a good group right here. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much. And that's my shout out for this evening.
Thank you. Concur 100%. Other shout outs. Last month I announced to Commissioner Oliver that our audio system would be working by this month, and you can see that it is not. I apologize for that. It appears that it's going to take about 2 weeks for them to install our audio system, and they're not going to do it until our second commission meeting in June. They'll have the whole month of July to work on that. So it'll be done in June and July, I hope, Commissioner Oliver. One other thing, we got into some conversation here recently on grants. Let me just say that the county, our county commission, county government applied for almost $25 million in grants and was awarded most all of those grants, most all of them. There were somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple of $1 million that was not granted. County match on that was $2 million. So we were able to accomplish over $27 million in projects through the grant process in 2024. And our county government and all of the different departments that every month we approve grants, it appears, and it's just amazing the amount of money that we save applying for those grants and not let them slip through the cracks. There are a lot of counties that do not do that, and I'm also extremely proud of our government for doing that. Anything else? We're going to see this special presentation tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and announce that after this presentation, the County Commission will go into executive session. There's a couple of legal updates that our county attorney needs to talk to us about, but we'll go ahead and finish our other business first. The topic under the other business is more than the V, and it's Commissioner Piercy.
Commissioners, what I'm bringing to you tonight is more of a benefit for our new commissioners that come on this body 2-3 years ago that may not have all the knowledge of how the landfill developed in the Walter Hill area. You may not have had the opportunity to watch the GBB presentation a few years back to try to come up with a solution other than burying trash in the ground. I want to give you a brief history on what I know. I'm going to use this map up here to try to make it realistic to you, the impact that could happen. Anything I say here tonight are my words. It doesn't affect our Public Works Committee whatsoever. I have had no help other than Mr. Curtis fix this picture for me. So if you don't like what I've got to say, it's my fault, nobody else's. I'm gonna start with the map on the wall. No, yep, it's gonna work. All right, right here, this area right here is well known as the Republic landfill. It's been there for several years now. 30 years ago, I was able to buy registered Santa Gertrudis cattle off this farm that was right there. It was nothing but a grassland farm. It had a swine operation on it that raised hogs from fair to finish. It belonged to Morgan Green. A man from Lebanon comes to Mr. Green, talks him into buying his farm. He said he had the need for a C&D landfill. They've come to an agreement. Mr. Green priced him his farm. The man from Lebanon bought it. Within 48 to 72 hours, that property was sold to Brown and Ferris, what is now known as BFI or Republic Services. This is what we have today that has generated in 30 years a massive amount of trash in Rutherford County. Your river lays along this line right there, the purple line, all the way around. That's where most of our drinking water comes from. Some other may come from other places down toward the end of Smyrna, Laverne, but most of the upper end of the county comes out of the East Fork Stones River. Where I'm going with this is the county landfill road. It comes in to our landfill right here. Our transfer station that we've just all but finished is right here. The topic of my conversation, I labeled it as the V, which lies in this area right along here. They cannot use that V unless a county commission allows it. We hold the key to the use of that property. By the county property is right here. We have them cut off with the county landfill road. They own 300 acres on this side. Republic does. All the dirt off this property is gone. They have raked it, scraped it, trucked it over, and it's on this hill right here. They have taken the soil off of this farm, 78 acres. They have taken the soil off of this farm. It's 125 more acres. These farms are bare. They are useless. They have boulders sticking up out of them. The plan was 10 or 11 years ago, maybe 12, to allow the extraction of soil from those farms was to take 5 acres, reclaim the 5 acres before any more was taken away. It's been a very light situation on how it's been recovered. Most of it has more or less grown back from nature. The bluffs are there. That gets us on over to, this is a subdivision right here. It's called River Rock Subdivision. There's multiple homes in there. There's probably 200 to 300 homes on this side, and this is Jefferson Pike right here. This farm here and this farm belongs to Tom Reed and Richard Reeves. They're the ones that got the dirt extracted off to go to the landfill. This is very valuable property to these people. They can get through this V. If they can convince the county to sell them this V or this entire landfill, it opens the gateway up because it connects on the back to their 300 acres that's already been robbed of dirt. It also would open them up to the process of trying to buy this 78 acres and this 125 acres. You're looking at a combination. Right now they own roughly 800 acres. That's counting the 500 here and the 3 on this side. There's another 200 acres in the other farms that's already been robbed of all their soil. You're looking at a 1,000-acre landfill could happen in the future. The next 3 blocks right here, this is the Holbrook farm. It's 89 acres, 98 acres, 104 acres. This is pure dirt. There's dirt, many, many million yards of dirt on that farm. The little corner right here with the 54 acres belongs to Mark Baker. It lies on the riverbanks. There's plenty of dirt in this farm too. Somewhere down the line, money makes stuff happen. These people have the money to make anything happen that they really pursue. If we ever let our landfill property go, if we don't keep it, you'll be looking at roughly another 200 years of landfilling if all this unfolds. The property's there, the dirt's there. This has been said it is for sale, and this is for sale. These people have been approached, both of these, to buy soil. They would not sell their soil, but they will sell their entire farms. I hope somewhere, either sitting here tonight, or maybe one day you're just walking down the road or riding down the road and you think of this and say, Lord, what a mess that could make of Rutherford County. It's the last thing that needs to happen. It may not happen in the next month. It may not happen in the next year or two, but there's plenty of commissioners here that will be here after I'm gone. And I hope you remember that if you're ever faced with the opportunity, will you sell us your landfill? Because if you do, it adds that much more property on our riverbanks to contaminate our soil. It goes nearly a mile from Republic's driveway to Betty Ford Road. That's a mile on the pavement. It's a long ways, and it'll last for years and years to come. The 50 acres they're referring to for the V is just a drop in the bucket to what could develop. "30 years ago, the commission sitting here fell for a trick. They told them they just wanted to C&D landfill, and then now it's turned into a massive mountain of trash. I'm not bad-mouthing Republic. They've got a job to do. I hope they're doing the best they can. But the last thing we want to see is that mountain to double or triple on the north side of this county. It will affect property values. It could possibly affect your health. You think that hill there smells, think of what 2 more just like it will smell like. There's questions about our drinking water now, about is it good, is it bad? I haven't tested it, so I can't testify to that. But I do know another 500 to 600 acres of trash on our riverbanks will not help it. I thank you for your time. You may not have been interested, but from my point, I wanted to do this because someday, if it comes up for a vote to sell our landfill and I couldn't be here or was passed away, I would really hate that I didn't express my thoughts and knowledge to this, because this is my major concern in my district. It lies in District 2. The devastation it has done for those people at Walter Hill is unbelievable. There's no amount of money that could replace what's been done. And what I've heard offered in their programs, nothing is offered for what's been done down there. I thank you. I thank you for your time. And maybe the motion that was made in a previous committee someday could be made on this floor. that it may not be denied. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Casey. Okay, that brings us to the end of our agenda. I'll remind everyone that we'll go into executive session, so the courtroom needs to be cleared with everyone except our attorneys and commissioners. And then we'll briefly reconvene at the end of our executive session. We're in recess. This time I'll call the Rutherford County Commission back into session. Brief explanation, we've been in an executive session considering an ongoing legal matter. No deliberations, no decisions were made. It brings us to the end of our agenda. Anyone have any other business? Seeing none, thank you for your attendance, your patience, and we are adjourned.